All right, we are live. Welcome to the Discard Pile. I'm your host, John Corbett. It is October 24th, 2016. I think we're two and a half weeks from the election day. I don't know.
2 weeks in a day.
2 weeks in a day. Oh, thank God.
All right, my guests tonight are John Carter and Maggie Geppert, and we'll be joined later by Mike Shea. My first question will be for Maggie. Maggie, you were this close to the brass ring. You were going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. The big gold belt was right there, and then fell through a Hail Mary. What happened, Maggie?
Oh, God, that was painful. That was so painful. Well,
Give us the play-by-play.
All right, so the play-by-play, I'm on my last mission attempt. So I'm playing Blessed Bajor, Orbs, and Good Guys. So I've got out my dream team. I'm doing the last mission, which is, it's the Resistance mission, Geo, Security, and Leadership, Integrity greater than 38. Name is escaping me right now. I got my dream team out. I got the Cisco. I got the Kai. I got Barile. I got 3 Geo people. Like, I got triple skills, everything that I need. And so I send down the away team, and Phil hits me with accelerated aging.
Yeah, you had like 3 dilemmas under there, and you had 4 or 5 to spend and draw or something like that.
Oh yeah, something like that. It was like 4 to spend and draw, and he hit me with something first. I forget what it was. Then accelerated aging, and all right. So 2 of my 3 Geo personnel. Geo is their first listed skill. So Lenalis and Vera Sewell. And then he hits me with something where he gets to choose the kill. I think it was
necessary execution. I think.
Yeah, right. Necessary execution. So he killed Joram. Yeah, he's the guy. Some random Bajoran scrub. So he's my only person whose geology isn't his first listed skill, so that stops me. I'm done. And then he goes on, and it was the case of he had the next, he had the next turn. There wasn't anything I can do to. That
was a desperation play when you're hoping that everyone's first listed skill is geology. That card, I think Nick convinced me that it's a card that has no place in 2E because first listed skill is a 1E.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I've been puzzled by that card. But remember, that card came out in Genesis, which is a set that I think should just have been forgotten. Like, if you're going to ban a whole set, ban Genesis.
Yeah, that was the Hail Mary came through. And speaking of Nationals, I'm wearing my fanboy prize shirt. I'm a lowly lieutenant commander, and sadly, this is from first edition because apparently I have regressed, like Tom Paris. I am de-evolving slowly into whatever it was, a lizard. I'm going to bang the captain at the end.
Well,
and
we'll stand up so the whole crowd can see the shirt, man.
No, it's just a yellow. I had to work down in engineering, and it's a yellow. There was a red one. It was pretty neat prizes, and. What do I say about it? I didn't give a preface for the show. We're doing a quick show, post-Nationals breakdown. I got nothing prepared. We're just going to ramble on about what happened. Like I said, we're going to be joined later by Mike Shea. We'll get back to – I'll wait till Mike hopefully shows up. Before we cry about politics, because John Carter's here, I want to cry – since John Carter lives in Lincoln, Nebraska, where college football is king, my football question for John will be – what was worse this weekend, the 125-point game between Texas Tech and Oklahoma or the 6-6 tie in the NFL Sunday night? John, what was worse?
I'm going to say it's the 126 Texas Tech Oklahoma because a 6-6 tie shows the teams were trying to do something. In Oklahoma, you might as well have not had defenses on the field. I think I was saying this before the show, but I expect nothing less from the Big 12. A conference run by Texans, a place where literally their idea of security is giving everyone a gun, speaks to an offense first, no defense proposal.
Are you disparaging the pistol formation? That's
a nice reference there. Way to pull back football from the 1950s.
I don't know, but but college football. I've been bitching about this for the last 10 years about games that are just they're Madden football video games.
Almost, I mean, except for like the terrible matchups that every big program plays, you want to see the bad Madden football. Look to the Big 12 every time. That conference has been the last 5 years of no defense, and every year, my friends who are Texas fans are like, look how great the Big 12 is. Our offenses are putting up so many points until they play a team from not the Big 12. They score nothing because they have no defense. They don't know how to play against a defense. It's just one conference that shouldn't be a conference. They should just fold at this point. Is ruining.
You know what? I live in Big 12 country now. I got to stop this conversation. You're out of control. And I think Maggie might fall asleep when we keep talking about football.
You know what? I gave up on college football. I'm an alumnus from University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I gave up on college football a long time ago. I was even in the marching band for 4 years, and it's like I can't maintain interest.
So we'll switch back to nationals and I'll do a game. I used to write an article after big tournaments called Props and Slops, where I would list the good things and the bad things. Maggie, give me off the top of your head, give me a couple good things, a couple bad things.
Couple good things. Oh damn, my brain is so fried right now.
I rode the motorcycle.
I did 6 hours on the motorcycle yesterday.
6 hours driving.
Good things. I managed to slow down Mike Shea from his, by just like decimating a bunch of his Cardassians in one mission attempt. Like I got a whole bunch of dilemmas that were all kill dilemmas, which was great because he was playing Cardies with Central Command, and I was doing stupid shit like playing an issue of trust first on his first mission attempt. I'm like, oh wait. That's a stupid thing to do. So there's the slop.
Now, Maggie, I know you're a first-time guest, and we don't appreciate that kind of language here on the discard pile. We're a class. We're a classy show. Now I felt bad, Maggie. I thought beating me would be the highlight of the event.
Oh well, that was definitely a highlight of the event, and I gotta say another highlight was just getting to noticing when I was looking back at the tournament round, I played everybody who placed ahead of me. So I was mid-pack.
Oh, you had odds because you lost in the last round, and then you. Yeah, you cost me third, Maggie. If you won your game against Phil, I would have had a nice. I would have had triple medals, and that were none of them. You know, I would have had all the colors. I would have collected all the colors in the. There we go.
Well, I will say that that game against Phil was definitely one of the, if not the best game I have ever played in my entire life.
Now, Mike, welcome to the show, and you just missed Maggie bragging about how she just wiped out all your Cardassians in one attempt there. How did you feel watching all those scumbag Cardassians die?
Oh, I'm sure he felt fine. He didn't have any dilemmas underneath my missions, and I had attempted at least 3 or 4 different times, so I'm sure he was feeling just fine.
It was a brutal game. It was back and forth, that one.
So what are my props for nationals? Mike, we're just talking before we saved the politics. I know you were chomping at the bit. This is being the last discard pile before Emperor Trump takes over, and when Atlanta goes blue, he's kicking Georgia out of the Union when he wins. So my props would be to the Atlanta guys. You and the other Mike. I'm gonna call you the Magic Mikes. You finished 4-2. Would have been 5-1 if you didn't get a little bit unlucky against me. So it was a rounding success for Atlanta, though, right?
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I felt good about how we did, and it was a wonderful event to travel to. It was well run, and it seemed like everybody was having a great time.
Oh, John's on mute.
I apologize. My son just started his sax. He was trying to start his saxophone practice in the middle of the show. I had to shut that down for a little bit. So I'm sorry. Continue.
At 9:30 at night?
We already. My kid was doing homework in the dark kitchen. I had to turn the lights on. Well, yeah. Well, we'll get to my problems another show.
The corporate household, a bastion of education.
Oh no! Don't get me. It has nothing to do with me. Trust me. I would have that homework done off the school bus. But I don't even know. I've lost track of my own show. Mike, what happened? Take over, buddy.
No, I was just saying, thanks for the shout out. It was a pleasure to travel to the event. That's actually my second time coming to Lexington, Kentucky for nationals. And both times I've had a nice time playing. Everybody I played against seemed well prepared, and they were all sportsmanlike, and it was just a pleasant experience the way around. So I definitely would do it again.
And you stepped out of your comfort zone and stopped playing Tarek Nora like I told you to do. So, and you did.
I took the challenge. I haven't played them since you issued that challenge. So we'll see how long that lasts. But.
And then I guess that we would be remiss if I didn't mention that Nathan won with Tarek Nora Dissonant Bill deck of all things. So I didn't see that shit coming. So good for him. I guess let's get the obligatory politic talk out of the way. I don't know what to ask because it's over, right, John Carter? It's nasty women. Nasty women was the nail in the coffin, right, John? Come on, I don't even know. I don't have questions.
I don't think nasty women as much as his refusal to concede if he loses was the nail in the coffin. What better way to admit that you're a megalomaniac despot in training than to say you don't recognize democratic institutions? But it's a hard right. He's been running a hard right campaign. When everyone was like, "Oh, he'll move center after the primaries. He'll move center. He'll blah, blah." Nope. Just a hard right the whole time. So he just kept doing what he's been doing the whole. The hard right people love that line. Well, but I mean, I think even not the hard right. The hard right are going to vote for him no matter what. But the rest of the Republican Party finds the idea of saying, well, I'm not sure I believe in democracy if I don't win, particularly troubling.
They hate Hillary more than they love democracy. That's how much they hate Hillary. They don't even on the Arkansas Christian radio, they're still like, well, we still got to go vote Republican. We still have to, So I think the nasty women, you can't piss off 54% of the electorate. I mean, Maggie, for once I have a female perspective, so instead of my rambling on about what I think women know. And
well, I hope Hillary starts to own that, because we've already got, so in my my department we have the world's most unusual physics department because we have 4 women professors out of 6, and we all have the Hillary on the shark with machine guns picture that's apparently been going around Twitter, that we all have that printed out and hanging up in our offices now. So I hope Hillary starts to own that.
Your tuition dollars at work, parents.
Yes, the 2 cents it costs to print those up.
Hey, it all adds up. I'm going to disparage higher education right now. That's just what I do. Yeah,
that's fine.
As the local.
With 2 to 3 of what? Mike, are you in higher education?
I'm actually working my doctorate as we speak. Yes, I finished my comprehensive exams 3 weeks ago, and I'm now starting the process of prepping for the dissertation. So yeah, I'm gearing up to warp young minds and indoctrinate America's youth.
Yeah. So yeah, you have 3 higher educators on your panel. Good audience choice, Corbett.
This show is not only for my entertainment; it's also for my education. Someone's the state of New Jersey failed me. All I had was a public library card. That was the extent of my education. But all people do though is just people that are in your field and work in academia. All they do is shit all over it and talk about all you got to do is pay the money and get the ticket at the end of it. But I'm sure at a certain level you gotta get the work in. But
Well, I tell my students it's the other way around, that they got to put them. It's not they're not just paying for a degree. They got to do some work at some point in time.
Yeah, but then once they once they do the work, they think. I mean, there's a sense of entitlement once they get out of there. Once they paid the money and got the piece of paper, that it matters, and I don't know.
Well, to be fair, I teach engineers, so you do actually have to have the degree to go out and be an engineer anymore.
That's right. Shit on John Carter language. No one gives a shit. Yeah. No, good luck. You need a bridge, John. We don't need people talking about how people troll people on the internet. Actually, we do. I need that. I need that very much.
Actually, I enjoyed that particular post.
Which one? You got to narrow that down.
The very long one of the very long posts in the Great Nerd War of 2015, I think, was sort of the one that I'm thinking about.
Probably talking about John's treaty that ended it finally. But I didn't get a chance. Mike, was it nasty women or failure to concede? What was the nail in the coffin, Mike?
Oh God, nasty women, failure to concede, bad hombres. I mean, it could be all of those things.
Which, as one of my coworkers pointed out, means hungry. If it was hombres, then he would have had the word right.
Right. So, well, what's interesting, I was actually just looking at some breakdowns of electoral math by gender and by ethnicity and by education, and it really drove the point home that class and politics in the United States is perhaps just as much, if not more, about race than it ever has been, because by any way you break down the vote for non-whites in the United States, whether it's by gender or by age or by education, it's every single state, it goes blue, if those are the only people voting. Versus if whites are the only people voting, by every single breakdown, Republicans get past the magic number for the Electoral College. They don't take every state in every single breakdown. In every single breakdown of the white vote, Republicans win a majority of the electoral voting, and if you break down non-white voters, Democrats take the state. That was fascinating to me. And so that gives some insight into the way Donald's been running his campaign.
That sounded very all well and good, Mike, but in Arkansas on Christian radio today, where I get all my news, race doesn't actually exist because something the Old Testament said. So that problem solved. There is only one race, but something Noah, flood, Tower of Babel, everything's fine. And also if the Kentucky law that mandated the Ten Commandments be put up in schools, if that didn't get struck down, Columbine in Colorado would have never happened. So as you see, this is why I have this show, to get the rest of the Christian stuff out of my brain. And John said something about he went to rant about Christians co-opting Jewish was it imagery or
I mean,
you wanted to rant. I said, oh, there's something good there. He's got something.
That was that Peppy the Frog discussion on the boards where whoever posted it tried to claim because it was a Jewish prayer shawl, it wasn't somehow an anti-Semitic image, which I find putting white supremacist fonts and imagery on Jewish prayer shawls can't be anything but white supremacist. The simple truth is that, the alt-right is anti-Semitic, it's racist, it's angry white men at its finest. And really, if they're the primary supporters of the Trump campaign, and one of Trump's campaign managers is one of their media elites, you can't say anything but a supporter. The campaign itself, I'm not saying all the supporters, but the campaign itself is nothing but racist and anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but I found your claim funny, considering that all Christianity is it's Judaism 2.0. We co-opted a zombie rabbi and made.
Yeah, but that particular symbolism is not something that Christianity took.
They're going to take it all, John. All your base belong to them. They want all of it.
I'm going to hold on to what I can.
All right, so back to nationals. And the only knock I had, and Derek, there was great prizes. It was a nice hotel conference room, a little too nice. Is kind of my point. And I kind of just got the vibe that the hotel conference room era. I just didn't want to have to pay like $90 to play in all the tournaments and stuff like that. So that was my only knock. I think we were at the point where we got to find something in between an Arby's and a fancy schmancy hotel conference room that costs X hundreds of dollars a day. So
well, you are in luck, Mr. Corbett, for Nationals 2017.
We're at Chicago. Are we?
We will be playing at College of DuPage's annual CodCon, which
cod like fish?
Yeah, yes. Well, College of DuPage, COD.
No, so, I mean, I thought it was gonna be cod, like there's gonna be like a lot of fish there or something.
Yeah, well, the little icon for CodCon is a fish holding up a sword. So yes, they go with the cod thing. So, but it is a reasonably priced convention with a $5 a day, $10 for the weekend entry fee.
Okay, all right, I can manage that. Well, it's got to go towards printouts of Hillary posters.
Yeah, if you want, you can even go. This is actually not my college. This is the next one south of my school. We can all, if you want to get fancy, you know, all that money you saved, we can go to the Corrupt Restaurant on campus. Which, if you search the Chicago Tribune for what was it called, Waterleaf Restaurant. Right. Yeah, you can. Yeah, so I guess John had heard of that. So that's the search for the Waterleaf Restaurant. You'll get a long line of articles on a financial scandal there.
Oh, okay.
I
missed that one.
Yeah, it's highly entertaining when you for me, because the president of College of DuPage, who did all of the extra legal stuff, used to be the president of my college, and we knew that he was a POS back then, and he managed to get away with all of the stuff down at that school that we wouldn't let him get away with up at our school. So
this has got me thinking, honestly, how many of higher education institutes could we just get rid of and not miss a beat in this country? Like University of Phoenix and DeVry University. Like how much can we cut out of this country and then not miss a beat? Like 40% of colleges and universities. Not that aren't community college. I'm pro community college, and I'm pro high end universities. But it's all a bubble, right, John? It's come on.
I mean, there's a higher education bubble that's undeniable, driven by the student loan industry.
Mm-hmm.
And the schools you're going to see, and you're already seeing suffer, are the small liberal arts colleges. Primarily, that really rely on enrollment. I mean, state universities certainly have gotten more expensive because they're not getting much funding, but you have universities around, like in Nebraska, that are just scrounging for students in whatever way possible. They hire their football coach that says, I don't care if you have a 200-person roster, get bodies on campus. If they never play a game, it doesn't matter. They enrolled and they paid tuition, and things like that. They're literally just running the business model now to stay afloat.
Yeah, a lot of that is because of the for-profit schools, and the for-profit schools are doing things that people want. They're doing stuff like, hey, this degree that's going to take you 4 years at a regular school, well, you can do it in 18 months. And they're accrediting bodies that are letting them get away with that. So they're getting the people, and they're being very aggressive about how they get people to enroll in financial aid. So, and I worked at a for-profit school for a little while before I got hired at my community college, and you see that on the backside.
I'm gonna go. My last show, I went out there a little bit. I'm gonna go out there again, because basically in this country, eventually there's just not enough jobs for people. There's just not. There's automation, and there's just not
universal basic income.
Well, that's what I'm going to eventually get to. But I think right now what we're doing is creating a bubble so people can get these like fake jobs where they just sit in offices for 40 hours a week. I was actually, instead of that, I think you mentioned something on a previous show, John, about the 40-hour work week. So instead of, how about people do a job for 20 hours a week and then go find a hobby that does, go volunteer for another 20 hours a week and then do something else with the rest of your time. So yeah, I think there's either two options: universal income or a 20-hour work week, and then people start doing, other constructive things with their time that actually contribute to society. But right now it's just pay money, get a degree, go sit in an office for 40 hours and spend 20, 25 of those hours on Facebook looking at cat videos. It's gonna fall apart, right?
The reality is both of those are true in the long run. Too much of our economics is, bots are the proof that even the things we thought weren't automatable, like journalism, song production, creative arts, if you will, are being done by adaptive learning technologies now. And so there's just not the possibility over the next 50 to 100 years of the number of bodies needed to do the jobs is going to get smaller while the population gets larger. And so
but can our culture as Americans handle not working 40 hours? And even the 40-hour work week, when that was implemented, was like a mind-blowing idea, only working 40 hours a week. And hell, we only had Sundays off because of your people, John. So, or Saturdays, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we got you the second day.
But are we ever going to be able to do less than 40 hours, or are we just going to pretend? That's what I'm trying to think.
I think
just pretending at this point.
We're going to hit a point with outrageous unemployment at some point, and that's why I actually think a universal basic income would probably happen before major work week reductions. Although the argument against that is the sort of freelance economy that's established is already, it's increasing work week time while decreasing pay by finding ways to make people have to work longer for the same amount of money and compete harder. And at some point that will just fail because
Maggie, John's depressing me. Tell me everything's going to be okay, and tell me why the robots aren't going to take over and my truck isn't going to turn into a transformer and kill me.
Oh, because there's no robot in my living room grading the exams that I'm supposed to be grading right now.
Oh, that could. Oh, yeah, there could be. Someone's got to. All they need is an intern to push the piece of paper through the machine.
No. Sadly, no. No Scantrons for me. I gotta grade the problems and see the work. So yeah, we'll just be.
Robot, Maggie, you're getting a little bit of ego. If there's a robot that can make music. There's a robot that can grade an essay. Come on, we're all not. There's not another problem. People feel that everything they do is important. And they're saving the world, even by voting. Like voting's going off on a tangent, but voting. That's my other problem with the ego this year of voting. Voting's not something like you're not changing the world. You're just performing a civic duty. I got a problem with that fake ego when it comes to voting, where every election is the one that's going to save the world.
Well, we saw in 2000 that a vote can really matter, so I think people have still taken that to heart.
Or it doesn't matter. You can flip the script on that. The vote might. All right, so Mike, what are the odds that Georgia goes blue this year? Give me the odds.
It depends on whose poll you look. If you're talking about the Senate and if you're talking about down ballot, there's no chance.
Just in the presidential election. What are the odds? If I gave you $1, what odds would you give me on $1? 10, 20 to 1?
Oh, 60% Trump, 40% Clinton.
So like $1.20, $1.50 on the dollar.
Yeah, come on, man! All these higher education people, I can't get an odds maker. I need a degenerate gambler on this show. Yeah, stop putting all your money into the system, guys. You just gotta throw it away sometimes. Just throw it on Star Trek T-shirts. That's what I do. That's what I do with my money.
Well, 538's running at about 55% right now for Trump, if that helps.
Is that polls only or polls plus?
I think I'm looking at polls only right now.
Yeah,
when I was in Atlanta, the word on the right-wing radio was trying to talk themselves into that there was no chance it could go red. like they were telling it to themselves, like, no, Georgia's in the bag, but it's not, because there's just, I mean, it's all about how many cities you have. And LA doesn't have that many cities, but it's got one giant city with a large African American population. So it's just, it can't. I think Georgia. I think there's a 55% chance that Trump wins. That's about it. I think that's going to be real close. And who knows? He still has 16 days to say something. He could beat nasty women. That's the leader in the clubhouse. So we'll wrap it up on that nice note. Well, it was nice knowing all you guys. And if Hillary wins, she's going to abolish the First Amendment. And then either way, the show's canceled, no matter what, from what I hear. So thanks for coming on. I think everything I was planning on talking about in the show, I didn't even get to, because this is what happens. All right, that's the end of the show. We'll see you all before when Emperor Trump takes over. Like Greasy Ducat, I'm kicking everyone out of the disco pile. Good night.